Welcome back, my champions, to another super simple explainer to help you ace your exams. I know you've all been working so hard, and today we're going to make Chapter 1 of Sociology super simple for you. Okay? Ready? Let's dive right in. So, let's start with something you all know very well. That big, confusing time after your 10th boards. So much tension, no? Everyone has an opinion, right? Your parents, your teachers, your friends, that one uncle you see only once a year. It's a lot of pressure.
And you hear all these things at once, don't you? Beta, just work hard. But then someone else says, no, pick this subject, it has more scope. Or maybe you hear, is this practical for a girl? Or, remember, our family needs you to start earning soon. Suddenly, your personal choice feels, well, connected to everything else, the job market, your family, even your gender. It doesn't feel very personal anymore, does it?
But what if I told you there's a subject that actually helps us make sense of all this pressure? That subject, my champions, is sociology. And today, we're going to unlock its most important tool together. Come on, let's think of it as your new academic superpower, the sociological imagination.
Okay, now this is the most important idea in the whole chapter, so listen carefully. It was introduced by a great sociologist, C. Wright Mills, and the sociological imagination is just this. It's the ability to see the link between our own personal troubles and the bigger public issues happening out there in society.
Let's just take your example. You feel stressed about your career. Okay? That feels like a personal problem. But when we zoom out, we see that lakhs, even crores of students across India are feeling the exact same stress. Now, why is that? It's because of bigger things like a super competitive job market and what society expects from all of us. You see the difference? Sociology helps us go from just my problem to seeing it as our problem.
Here's another example straight from your textbook. Seeing one homeless person might feel like a personal tragedy, and it is. But when you learn that lakhs of people are homeless, you start to realize it's actually a public issue. It's not just about one person's bad luck, it's connected to huge social forces like poverty, unemployment, and people moving from villages to cities looking for work.
And this picture illustrates the point perfectly. Instead of just looking at a sad situation and thinking, oh, that person must have made some bad choices, sociology pushes us to ask bigger questions. Why does our society have so much poverty? What are the systems in place that cause so many people to be left behind? We stop blaming the person and start understanding the system.
Great. Now that we have our sociological superpower, let's use it to look at society itself. You'll see it's not just one big happy family. It's actually way more complex and, unequal.
The great Nobel Prize-winning economist Amartya Sen, he puts it perfectly. Our society is just full of these contrasts. We have extreme wealth right next to extreme poverty. People who are highly educated and others who can't even read. This inequality, it's a central feature of our society, and it's something sociologists study very closely.
And what's really interesting about this slide is how it connects right back to our first point. Hunger isn't just a personal problem of not having food. It's a massive public issue that shows how resources in our society are just not distributed equally. Sociology makes us ask, why do millions of people still go hungry in a country that produces so much food?
All right, now for a very common exam question, my champions, so pay close attention. What's the real difference between sociology and just, common sense? I mean, don't we all think about society? Well, let's find out. So, here's the crucial point. Look at how each one tries to explain poverty. Common sense often gives what we call a naturalistic explanation. It says things like, oh, people are poor because they're lazy, or maybe they just don't know how to save money. You see? It blames the individual. But a sociologist investigates the bigger picture. They'll say poverty is caused by the social structure, by things like a lack of good, stable jobs, or wages that are so low it's impossible to escape poverty.
Just remember this one simple line, and I promise you can write a fantastic answer in your exam. Common sense blames the person. Sociology investigates the system. Simple now? So why did this subject even start? What was happening in the world that made people feel, hey, we need a new way to study society? Let's quickly look at its little origin story. So the big reason was the Industrial Revolution over in Europe. I mean, everything changed so fast. People left their villages, moved to these new, crowded cities, huge factories popped up, creating a lot of wealth for some people, but also brand new kinds of poverty and inequality for many others. You suddenly had problems like slums, crime, and pollution on a massive scale. People realized they needed a new science, a social science, to understand this crazy, complex, modern world. Now you might be thinking, but sir, that all happened in Europe. Why should we care? Well, we care because our own modern Indian history is deeply, deeply connected to it through British colonialism. The rise of capitalism and all those factories in Britain had a huge impact right here in India. It changed our economy, our cities, our whole lives. So we study the origins of sociology to better understand our own unique journey into this modern world.
So, my champions, here is my final thought for you. The next time you're scrolling through Instagram or watching a YouTube video that's gone totally viral, just stop for a second. Try to use your new superpower. Ask yourself, why is this the thing that's trending right now? What does it say about our society, our values, our worries? What's the bigger public story behind this personal entertainment? Always, always ask the bigger why. That is the first step to thinking like a sociologist. All the very best for your exams. You are all going to do wonderfully.